What's up, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in to our latest video here at JT Tactical. I'm JT. Today, we're going over my Get Home bag. Before we dive into this, let's talk about what is a Get Home bag. For me, it's a bag of everything that I need to get home to my family when shit hits the fan. Okay? Well, that leaves a lot of situations to prepare for. Whether it's my car breaks down and I'm in the middle of nowhere, or all the way up to society collapses while I'm at work and I have to get home with mobs running rampant in the streets and all the electrical grids are down and everything, the cell phone towers are down, utter chaos, okay? So one extreme to the other. Not, everybody has had their car break down before. Usually you can get it taken care of when you don't have to walk all the way home, But I prepare for the worst. So this bag here, I take this with me. I throw it in my car anytime I leave home and I'm going more than 40 miles away from my house. Under 40 miles, I already carry a med kit in my car and some water, and I'll have my everyday carry-on, which is usually my handgun and an extra magazine, a knife, and a lighter. So I think that right there, that stuff should be good enough to get me home if I'm less than 40 miles away from my house. That's just kind of the standard that I've set for myself. And so this bag is designed to get me home if I'm more than 40 miles away. But that includes, 40 miles. That includes 200 miles. I sometimes travel out of state, go about 3 hours away, or I go across the state to my grandparents' house 3 hours away. That's, 250 miles, 300 miles. So this bag has to get me home in those situations as well. This specific bag that I bought was on sale on Amazon. I figured I'd give it a try, and I ended up loving it. It's a pretty simple bag. It only has 2 pockets on it, but it has MOLLE everywhere. So I've added all these pouches that in certain situations I won't need them. For instance, this one right here in the front, this pouch is all shelter. It's everything I need to make a shelter for the night. Well, if I am only 50 miles away from home, I'm going to take this off and leave it in the car when I walk home. If I'm that close, I don't need to be spending the night anywhere. It might take me more than, a few hours to walk home. However, it's not bad enough I'm going to need to spend the night somewhere. This one is mainly food, like snacks, calories, stuff like that. I'm probably going to keep that one on there, even if I take my actual food sources out of the main compartment. So things like that. Well, we're going to start diving into what I actually carry in here. And we're going to start by doing the smaller pouches around the bag and then get into the main components of the bag itself. So first, I have a small pouch here that's easily accessible while I'm wearing the bag. I have a lighter, a bright one, so I don't lose it in the dark or in the woods, anything like that. I have a small folding knife. I have just a little cheap flashlight. And I have 2 sets of batteries for that flashlight. These batteries that I keep in the bag are changed out once a month. And the old batteries that I take out are stuck in my stash. After I test them, I either throw them away or I hang on to them. But every month, brand new batteries go into this bag. On the other side, I have a similar pocket where I have an old school compass. This is a very important tool because I'm assuming if I'm in a bad enough situation where I'm using this bag to walk home, my phone probably is not going to have very reliable GPS because either the phone is dead, it's not working, the grid is down, satellites might be messed up, GPS might not be working, whatever the case. Hopefully I can still use my phone. If not, that's my backup. Old school, no electronics that could be messed up. Then I keep an inhaler. I have asthma that is brought on by seasonal allergies, which sucks, but it is what it is. So I keep this in case I am stranded and I'm walking in fall or spring or even winter or summer. I have allergies year round that cause asthma, so that really sucks, but like I said, it is what it is. I deal with it. This pouch down here, only thing in it is a water bottle, which I change out once a month with those batteries. After that, this pouch is empty, so I would use this for trash from the snacks that I eat, empty water bottle, any of that type of stuff. I just throw it in here and use this as kind of a dump pouch. Going back to this side of the bag. Here's my my snack pouch, basically. First thing I have is water purification tablets. And then I have 2 syringes in here. Those are going to be used with the canteens that are in the main part of the bag. We'll get to those. But these are for taking water, putting them into the canteen out of, a mud puddle, a rain puddle, anything. I can use these to get water into my canteens, where I can then use the water purification tablets. I have another set of tablets in there as well. Here I have just some snack items out of military MREs. Got some apple jelly, nut raisin mix, smoked almonds. I have 2 Hershey's bars, 2 things of Reese's Pieces. Once again, just sugar for energy. And then I have the side courses out of MREs, refried beans for one, and mango peach applesauce for the other. That's all I have in here for food. Moving on to the back of the bag. First thing I'm going to point out is right here, tourniquet for easy access. I would probably struggle to get this out if I'm wearing the bag, but my thought is if I'm at the point where I need a tourniquet quickly, I've probably already taken the bag off my back. Right above that, the only thing in this pouch is a box of shotgun shells, just cheap Target shot. I usually carry a shotgun in my truck. I have a tactical 12 gauge that I like to carry if I'm going a further distance from home. Then this, as I've stated already, this bottom pouch is everything I need for a shelter. I've got 50 feet of paracord. I've got tent stakes. I believe there's 10 of them there. I have 2 ponchos. There's one. This one was homemade. I believe my dad made it. It used to be a tarp. He cut it into a poncho and then spray painted it camouflage colors. This one is an actual military issue poncho. It has grommets in it that can be so it can be used as a shelter with the paracord. I have a stack of old newspaper for lighting a fire, more tent stakes of a different variety, and then just a plain old tarp. With that, I have enough materials to build a decent shelter for me and even a second person if I happen to have someone from my family with me, or my dog, or something along those lines. Okay, so that's everything outside of the bag in the pouches. We're going to move into the smaller of the two zippered pockets of the bag. First thing in here, can of bug spray. Super important, especially because certain people like me that have red hair are extra tasty to the mosquitoes, apparently. I'm not sure if I believe that, but I read it somewhere. 2 canteens. I've mentioned these already. Those are to fill with water from those syringes, or if the puddle's big enough, I don't even have to use the syringe. Just fill the canteen up and put some of the water purification tablets in there to get fresh water, because that one water bottle is definitely not going to be enough. I have an extra belt in here, tactical style belt that I had laying around. I put it in here because I have no idea what I'm going to be wearing if I happen to need to use this bag. I may not have a belt on to carry my firearm. My firearm being my pistol that I carry every day. I may be concealed carrying it, but I guarantee if I'm in a situation where I have to walk with this bag for any sort of distance, I'm going to want to open carry it because it's more comfortable. So there's a belt so I can do that, and I keep the holster for that in the car. It's already in there. I have a small pack of Kleenex. I have an EpiPen. I am very allergic to bee stings. Lots of people are allergic to lots of different things. I like to be prepared in case I come across other people that may need help. So I have that just in case. I've never had to use one on myself, thankfully. I have had somebody else use one on me. It's not fun, but it's a necessity if it's going to save your life. I also have a can of Axe spray in here because walking a long distance is going to make you smell bad. And if you have to interact with other people, you might not want to smell as bad. Here in the main compartment of the bag, I have a couple more pouches. This one here is basically just an organizer to put in a backpack. It has MOLLE capabilities on the back, but I removed those because I just throw this inside the main pouch here on the top. So, diving into this, I love this pouch because it lays flat and lets you see everything inside of it. It has lots of these elastic loops to place items, smaller items, and then has a couple of large pockets. The first thing, just loose in here that sits on the top, is a pair of sunglasses, but they're also safety glasses. If I'm in a situation where I need to carry this bag, I'm probably going to want to put those on just in case I have to use my firearm. I still want to be safe even in SHTF situations. So I carry those, and I carry these. This little bag has ear protection in it. I don't know how well you can see that, but it has some ear pro in there. I got my eyes and ears to make sure that I stay safe. Then I have an emergency blanket. I almost put this in with the shelter section, but even if I don't carry, if I were to leave that shelter pouch down here in the vehicle when I leave it, I still want to have that blanket with me just in case. I have 2 pens, another lighter which is bright orange. Once again, I say this every video, I lose lighters like there's no tomorrow, so I like the bright ones. I have a fire starter. Those are great to have, especially if you're dealing with wet wood or not enough kindling or anything like that. That helps to get your fire started. I have note cards, which if I'm a long ways from home, if I'm a 3-hour drive from my house, that's going to be multiple days of walking. Multiple. Not even just 2 or 3. It's going to take me a while to get home. I want to have a little bit of comfort. Things like, because I'm not going to walk the entire time, I'm going to have to rest. And when I'm resting, I'm a writer. I love writing. So having note cards and pens could help me keep my sanity. Also write down ideas that I may have that I need to look at later, or things that I notice as I'm walking, and even doing some type of reconnaissance while I'm just walking home. I can write those things down. Along with the idea of trying to be comfortable is I have a bar of soap. If I'm walking for 3 or 4 days, I'm going to want to try to take a bath, even if it's just washing my face. That once again goes back to the Axe spray as well. That's more for morale, really, than anything else, keeping my spirits up. It's a reason I have a razor in here as well. Along with that, I have toothpaste. That can be, even just trying to feel like a normal day. Waking up in the morning in my homemade shelter with a tarp and pouring some water on my face out of my canteen, washing my face, shaving a little bit, rubbing some toothpaste on my teeth, even just with a finger to try to freshen my breath a little bit, spraying some Axe spray on. It really does a lot for morale and helps you kind of wake up and feel a little bit more normal, even if you're out in the middle of nowhere trying to get home. Next, I have this flashlight that is USB charged, unfortunately, but it is fairly bright. It has a single LED at the front, or multiple here on the side. That's pretty bright. I don't know how well you can see that. That's my last resort for a flashlight because it's USB charged. So once it's dead, it's dead. There's a good chance I won't be able to recharge it. So I'm going to use this flashlight up here first. That takes the actual AAA batteries that I have extra of. Also in here, I have a much larger folding knife. I carry a few tampons. Never know who's going to be with me. Never know if I'm going to get hurt, if I have a nosebleed in the cold weather, anything like that. Tampons can take care of a lot. I have a package of glow sticks. These are great in low light situations. Maybe I want to conserve the batteries in my flashlight. Maybe I prefer not to broadcast my location by shining a very bright flashlight around. So I can use a small glow stick instead and hold most of it in my hand. I can kind of control how much light actually gets out that way. In the very back here, I have small travel-sized soap packets. There's shampoo, conditioner, and body wash in here. So that's once again going back to the idea of trying to make it feel as normal as possible to keep up my morale. And also, if you're walking for days, being able to clean up a little bit is going to help you a lot. I do have charging cords in here. I have a wall charger. I have the charger for my flashlight. I have a charger for my phone. And then I have a charger for the flashlight that I carry in my truck. Have a specific flashlight I always leave in my truck. And it takes a special charger. So I have all those, and then I have a portable battery. It's called Pocket Juice. It's just an external battery for your phone, honestly, but it's USB, so any of these chargers will plug into this. And if I'm in a situation where the world isn't ending, nothing super crazy is happening, there's probably somewhere I can stop, a library, even a church that might be open, somewhere that has a wall outlet where I can charge my phone for a few minutes. So I keep those cords just in case. So that's everything in that pouch. Moving back into the backpack, here I have my food store. This is not the snacks that I have on the outside of the bag. This is the actual entrees. This is actually 2 MREs that I broke down and put in the same bag. So I've got toffee cookies and a couple chocolate flavored energy bars, and then my 2 main courses are spaghetti with meat sauce and chicken breast strips with salsa. So not my favorite MREs. Honestly, I would prefer to never eat an MRE again. I'm not a fan of them. I think they're awful. But I know I would not be saying that if I'm in a survival situation and that's all I have to eat for a couple days. I'm gonna tear into those MREs, and it's gonna be the best freaking thing I ever ate, I'm sure. So I'll make sure to keep 2 of them in here. And honestly, this is enough food to last me for at least 3 days probably worth of eating, and then I can go, if I really need to, I can eat every other day and go for 6 or 7 days on the food that I have in here. I won't be in great shape when I get where I'm going. I will be very hungry and probably dehydrated, but I will be alive. The next thing I have in here is but it's a Molly pouch that's made to hold AR magazines. So this is what it looks like. And this is what I have my ammo in. This is another item that will probably come out of the backpack if I'm close to home. Or depending on what firearms I have with me when I'm going to be hiking back home, I'll probably end up leaving some of this behind. Just because it's so much weight. So the first 2, I have 2 30-round AR magazines, fully loaded with hollow point .223. In the third pocket, I have 2 magazines. This black one is a 32-round 9mm magazine for my Glock. That is full of hollow point. And this clear one is a 30-round magazine for 40 cal, also for my Glock. For those that didn't watch the first video on my battle belt, where I mentioned it, I carry a Glock 22, which is originally a 40 cal. However, I have switched out the barrel for a 9mm, so it shoots 9mm, but I still have the option of putting the old barrel back in so it will shoot 40. So, just to be safe, I carry a magazine of each caliber, because on the off chance that I have the 40 barrel in the gun when I need this bag, I don't want to be low on ammo. So, I carry both. Now all that's left in this bag is clothing items. First thing I have is just a gray hoodie. I think it says Florida on it. Just an older gray hoodie that I had laying around that is actually pretty warm, so I stuck it in here. Next thing I have is a pair of tactical pants. These are hard to rip. They're water resistant. They're pretty much any liquid resistant. Even like oil and stuff like that. So those are pretty durable pants that I like to keep in here. Next I have, this is actually, might be hard to see, but it's an old Marine Corps battle shirt. I picked it up somewhere, probably a secondhand store or like a military surplus store for a couple bucks. It's fairly warm, actually, I have found. And it's not something that I would wear day to day, so I have no problem keeping it in here. I never miss it out of my closet like I would if I threw one of my regular shirts in here. Plus, it's camouflage, so in some situations, that will be useful. And the last thing I have in here is undergarments. This has a black thermal long sleeve shirt. There's a ski mask, 3 pairs of socks, and a stocking cap. So this right here will come in handy if it's cold, or if it's wet, it has some extra stuff like the socks. Walking around in wet socks is the worst ever. And since I don't know what shoes I might happen to be wearing, I have 3 pairs of socks in here, because if it's my combat boots or my hiking boots, I'll be good. But if it's my tennis shoes that have thin soles, I might throw on an extra pair, even 2 extra pairs of socks to give some extra cushion. Try to save my feet a little bit, because that's going to be awful. If I have to walk any sort of distance, especially over rough ground, like out in the woods or anything like that. Well, that's everything that I have in my get home bag. This is not a bug out bag. There is a difference. This, once again, is strictly to get me home if I get stranded somewhere, or in an SHTF situation where I'm not at home or I'm not with my family. Home doesn't have to be where I live. If there's an SHTF situation and my family, specifically my wife, my dog, if they're at a friend's house or they're at my parents' house, that's where home is. That's where I need this bag to get me. So, just because it's a get home bag doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to my house with it. It's wherever my family is. I want them to stay there as long as they're safe. And that's where I am headed with this, all of this. It's designed to get me there. Well, thanks for tuning into this video. Hopefully I had some ideas in here that you found useful. Hopefully you can steal some of my ideas, build upon them, make them your own. Build your own bag. One thing I will say that this bag is missing is medical. That's because I have a completely separate bag for that. It's actually like, it's like a large fanny pack, basically. I'm going to do a separate video on it, because it is something that I leave in my car all the time, and it's like a advanced trauma bag. So if I see a car accident or anything, I have that with me. Anything happens at work, I can pull it out. I have that with me. So that stays in my car all the time. But if needed, it can attach to the bottom of this backpack, actually. And I can carry it all together. So that's why there's no medical in this bag. A lot of people I know don't want to carry as much first aid gear, as much trauma gear as I do. So they have plenty of room to put all their med gear in their get home bag. It's just whatever you want to do. It really is up to you. But let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you have any ideas. I'd love to hear them. Let's talk about it. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time on our next video. Thank you for tuning into JT Tactical.